Okay, so you've got these options here and all these options here. Some of them are more experimental. We've also got this one back here for millipedes and these four for isopods. Alright, Ophi, you can go choose one. Alright, so as you might expect from me, what do I talk about a lot?
Animals?
Yes. But also...
terrariums.
Yes. And so, you know a bit about terrariums, right?
Yeah.
Who made this?
Me.
Yes, you did. She made this whole thing. I did nothing to help her. I put the materials out for her and gave her tweezers. And she's did it. And it's been going for a while. It's growing. It's growing well. And yeah, I mean, it's working really well. You did a really good job of.
Thanks.
All right, so what do you think makes a terrarium a terrarium?
The dog eat itself under it.
The substrate?
The ecosystem.
Ecosystem? Okay. Like, but I mean, that tank there, the 20-gallon frog tank, that has an ecosystem too, because it's bioactive, but it's not a terrarium. What makes a terrarium and not a tank, or an aquarium, or a bioactive tank?
That it's a little tiny, and it has plants, and everything's kind of tiny.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's a really good one, Ophi. Do you want to hear my definition?
Yeah.
So a terrarium is less than 5 gallons, which means it's tiny, so you're right about that. And it has a bunch of little organisms that creates an ecosystem, so you're right about that too. And it's got a bunch of plants that can stay really tiny, so you're right about that too. You did it all right. Good job.
Thanks.
All right. What do you think's the best thing to put in a terrarium? Like, if somebody was just going to make their first terrarium, they've never made one before, what would you tell them would be really cool to put in it?
The stuff that's under it.
The soil?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think would be cool for the top for decorating and stuff? Like the heartscape?
Well, I think some plants, it just depends what they were making.
Yeah. So how about, let me take down a jar. All right, what would you recommend for this jar? Just a spice jar, no holes in the top. What would you recommend for this?
I would say like some holes in it.
Holes in the lid or holes in the tank?
In the lid.
In the lid, okay, so adding ventilation. Okay.
And it just depends what terrarium they're making. If they want a wood terrarium, they can put some different kinds of wood.
But what do you think is the best thing to start off with? A wood terrarium, a rock terrarium, a forest terrarium, what?
Well, I would think like a rock terrarium just to start off.
To start off, why do you think that?
Just because it's the most easy thing to do.
Good idea. You're right.
Instead of like a marshmallow. They can probably do that either one.
Yeah. It's okay, friend. Birds, the parrots are screaming into the background. It's all right. Why do you think that doing a rock terrarium is the easiest?
Well, just because it's simple.
Yeah. Just let anyone who doesn't know this is a rock terrarium. But yeah, so why is it simple, you think? What makes it so easy compared to the others, you think?
Just because it doesn't have as much stuff as others.
You're right. You know what I think?
What?
I think it's easier because since it's rock, it doesn't mold as easily. Okay, another question. But you're right. Good job. Another question. What would you recommend for, let me get the lid on this. It's not. Alright. What would you recommend for this? Let me just show the camera quick. A terrarium this size, what would you recommend to put in that?
It just depends.
The same thing as before, Ophi. Like, what would be the easiest thing to start off with, you think?
Well,
What plant do you think would be the
I
easiest
think
to
some
start off?
moss.
Moss? Okay.
And then you can put some leftover food that's kind of rotten if you want some, millipedes in there. Or roly-polies.
Yeah. Roly-polies. Do you know roly-poly's other name?
Yeah.
What?
Isopods.
Yep, isopods. You're right. Do you know why they're called isopods?
No.
I don't either. Iso means one, and pod means foot. So that should mean 1 foot, but do isopods have 1 foot?
No.
No. All right. Next question, Ophi. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think is the best terrarium maker? Me or you? Who do you think is better at terrariums?
You.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I thought you were going to say you.
No. Terrariums.
You were very quick at saying me. I honestly was not expecting that. Maybe I'll cut that out. Anyways, what is the best animal to put in a terrarium this size, do you think?
Well, yeah, do you know
It's okay, Fern.
Do you know those tiny stuff?
Yeah.
That's as tiny as dot?
Yeah, do you know what they're called?
No.
Can you try and think? It's okay if you don't know, just try.
Isopods?
Close. I keep them with isopods. They
don't
jump, and they jump like springs.
Fruit flies?
They're as small as a fruit fly. They jump like springs. And they have big tails.
I don't know. A dragonfly?
Springtails. Ha.
Well,
But, Ophi, guess what I have here?
what?
I have springtails, just so everyone can see. Why do you think that they're so good, Ophi?
Just because they are tiny and simple.
Okay, what?
But also if you want something a little bigger, you can do roly-polies or isopods if you wanted to eat them all.
Okay. So everyone right here. You didn't mention this, Ophi, and it's okay, but springtails are really good in small terrariums because they eat mold and mold spores. And actually they're good in terrariums and in bioactive tanks and in bigger terrariums and vivariums, all that stuff.
Okay.
But, so for something like this, you'd say isopods are really good too?
Yeah.
Okay. So, good idea, but for something this size, isopods wouldn't be good enough. But, you did an amazing job, and ready for the next question? What is your favorite terrarium you've made? Let me pull down all the terrariums you've made. Alright, so just to show the camera quick. Oh my gosh, whoa!
Yeah.
That was a millet seed!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's growing millet. Oh, that needs to be, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Terrariums now.
Alright, so here are the terrariums she's made. They are a bit filled with condensation, but this one's actually growing millet, and so I'm not sure if that's going to survive, because millet does get like 5-6 feet tall.
5, 6 feet tall.
And I think you can tell this is not 5 or 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Probably a half
yeah,
foot tall.
so this one,
1.5 foot tall.
we've got that one. This is made out of a pickle jar. This is one of the first ones she'd ever made. And yeah, this is the first one she made on her own without help. Just has a taped piece of, what's it called? Styrofoam? No, not styrofoam. Whatever it's called on top, plastic. And that keeps it going. And then this one here, I did help her with this one. But this was a while ago before we were experienced. And yeah. Alright, let me turn these around. Alright, which is your favorite, Ophi?
I think this one.
Yeah. What were you going for that tank terrarium?
Just because I like how healthy it's growing, and I like the pink rocks in it, and the colors.
What were you going for when you were making it? Like, what style?
Well, kind of like a forest.
A forest? Okay, good idea. What were you doing for this one?
Well, I don't No, I was just kind of doing my own thing.
Okay. And what about for this one?
Ooh, wait. Well, I kind of wanted it to be wild.
Wild, like the wild? Okay. Cool. All right. Now let's get rid. Now we're gonna be done with these terrariums and move on to your favorite pet. All right. So I'm just gonna guess that her favorite animal is going to be Snow, the leopard gecko sitting right here, or the fish, because she actually loves feeding them every night, and like she really does work with them. These are just the babies, which are the fry, but we've also got fish in the actual planted aquarium. But yeah, Ophi, what's your favorite animal upstairs? Oh, and it might be Dot Dot, her first hermit crab, who currently lives in a 75-gallon, 4-foot-long bioactive tank.
Well, it's Slow, Dot Dot, and Hopo.
Hopel, oh. Hopel is our old leopard gecko who got lost outside, and she ended up, well, dying because it got really, really cold. And yeah, that was a few years ago.
Yeah,
We already had Snow and Pumpkin by that time.
Not Pumpkin.
Well, no, not Pumpkin, but Snow. Yeah, you're right. All right, what is your favorite animal out of all of those that we have in the room? Out of all of those, you got to pick one.
I think I have two.
Okay, what?
You said two of them already.
Oh, yeah, you got to do one. Choose one of the two. Because you're going to tell me a bunch about them. Everything you know about them.
Well, I think Slow.
Snow? Okay. So, what is Snow?
She's a leopard gecko.
Do you know what morph she is? Which is the kind she is?
No.
High yellow. How big is her tank? How many gallons, do you know?
Gallons?
Yeah.
That
Like right there, Ophi? That leopard gecko tank is a 40-gallon.
Well,
So how big do you think hers is? His.
So, I think it's 20 gallon.
You think that's a 20-gallon?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a 40-gallon. Good guess. That's fine. All right, next question, Ophi. What does Snow eat that I'm scared of?
Crickets.
Yep. I have the most stupid fear of crickets. I mean, I am horrified of them. But that's their main food, so I do have to feed it a lot. How do I handle that?
Tweezers.
Yes. Well, yeah, but that's not what I meant. Every time a hermit crab jumps, not hermit crab, sorry.
Oh my god.
Every time a cricket jumps towards me or I see a cricket, I legitimately scream, like very, very high-pitched, loud scream. You didn't hear it, Ophi, but the cricket cage got open and the crickets got out all over my floor. And I screamed so loud. Alright, but...
Why are you even scared of them?
Because they can bite, and because I have bad experiences with Jerusalem crickets, which is a big cricket that jumps on you and will bite you, and they live in California.
I'm terrified of crickets. No, I'm not. You and Sadie.
Yeah, you and Sadie are good with them. Alright, next question, Ophi. How many years have we had Snow for?
I could say about 1? No, wait.
Yeah, friend.
When did we get Pumpkin?
About a year and a half ago. Here's Snow to sit with you.
I love you. So when you were born? I got to say 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, you're right, actually. It's exactly 2.5 years ago. Like, up to the month and the day.
Really?
Or up to the month and week. It's exactly 2.5 years ago. Good job, Opie. All right.
Flo told me that one.
How many different hides do leopard geckos need? Like, they need a humid hide, which keeps them humid, and what other hides do they
Coat
need?
hide?
Yep.
Kind of coat.
Mm-hmm.
That's freezing coat.
Yeah. Anything else, or is that it?
Like a mild hide and just hides to hide in.
Yeah.
And to climb on, I guess.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the answer is a humid hide, a cold hide, a hide in between, and a hot hide. So the hide in between is sort of like room temperature. No slate under it to make it colder, and no heat pad under it, or deep heat projector, or ceramic heat emitter to make it more. But yeah, good job, Ophi. Well, that's going to be it for today because this is becoming a very long video. Say bye.
Bye.
In the good snow.
So I'll say bye.